Good evening and welcome to tonight's Hofstra Women's Basketball Postgame Press Conference with head coach Danielle Santos Atkinson, Sorel Ineza, and Brandy Thomas. Coach, give us your thoughts following tonight's win over Army West Point.
That was a tough and hard fought game. Really proud of this crew for the way they dug it out. It wasn't pretty, but they found a way, right? And that's what this game is all about, is finding a way. You're not going to be 100% every single day. There's so many things in that game that we couldn't control, one being the fouls. And with that, this team continued to find a way. They stayed together, they fought hard, they fought back. We had a crew that came off this bench tonight and worked extremely hard in that first half. We could have felt sorry for ourselves, went in there and allowed that lead to really stretch, but they didn't. They came in, they did a great job defensively and offensively of maintaining where they could and controlling what they could control, and allowing us to go into that second half in a better position. And so just proud of this group and what they were able to do. Obviously, as always, we're going to go back to the drawing board and look at how we can get better, continue to work on those things that we can control as we look to prepare for our next opponent.
Questions?
Question for Sorel. First and second half, in your moments you stood up, you really shined for this team and really were a spark plug. So just in your confidence, the level of play tonight, what was the defining factor of how you were able to just have such good performance?
My teammates and my coaches, every single day they pushed me through the good and the bad times, and today it clicked, and I had the support and everything just felt good.
Question for Coach. Emma cracks the starting lineup for the second straight game now. Is this the plan going forward, and just a bit about her efforts as of late?
Yeah, I mean, she came in and like we said before, she did a great job these both games in giving good productive minutes. For us, we compete every single day in practice. And so it is always, we have a crew that's going to start the game and get that game going. But we're also competing every day. I don't want anybody to get complacent, right? You always want teams competing and pushing. We're going to start with that crew that we think is going to give us that best rhythm to start for that day, and it's going to be that. But Emma's done a great job of stepping in, and everybody else has done a great job and coming off that bench and giving that same effort.
Coach, let's talk about the positives that you got from the last 6 minutes of the game when you guys made that comeback, and what you can take from the future, especially with conference play coming around the corner.
Yeah, the ability to step up, right? And so we'd given up 15 offensive rebounds. In that last stretch, I thought we did a better job. We were boxing out and we got after it. Those are one of the things they cleaned up down that stretch. We had limited fouls, less fouls in that stretch. The more controllable ones, we fouled a bit less in that stretch down there. And the way we stepped up, Brandy stepped up for us huge down the stretch right there and hit some really big buckets. And so for this team to stay together and fight in those 6 minutes, we've had a few games where we mentioned where we've had the lead and we've lost it. We've come close and we've lost it in the end. And now 2 games now, we've been able to stay together and finish it out and come out with a W. And so being able to continue to take from those experiences, I told the team in the locker room, this is not gonna be our last dogfight, right? But the more that we learn how to stay together, how to finish games out, pretty or not, those are experiences we'll be able to pull from in the future.
Question for Brandy. Beyond the arc tonight, just the clutchest plays of the game. Just take me through what's going through your mind at some of the pivotal threes you were able to make.
It's like I see Allie. We said it's a late screen. I seen the girl kind of sunk in with her on the drive when Allie's driving. I called pop. She gave me the ball and I just hit what I'm comfortable hitting. Every day.
Also, other question, just with the eye, are you doing all right? It looked like a pretty physical play down there.
The last rebound, I just got hit in the eye. I'm okay though.
For Coach, obviously Brandy came up with the big shots down the stretch, but you touched on the fouls earlier. There were stretches of this game where the offense really had to find a way to generate opportunities without her on the floor. Just a bit about those efforts.
Yeah, I think that's where you saw Sorel step up, right? In that areas and in those times, she stepped up big for us. We play an inside-outside game, and so when we have our big presence and our inside on the bench, it made it a little bit difficult for us to be able to score. We also at times had 2-3 freshmen on the floor, right? And they're talented freshmen, but they are still freshmen at the end of the day, and they're still learning, and there's going to be some mistakes made in there. It was also some lineups that we don't always play with, and with that, you're not going to have the rhythm that you're used to having. And so I think, again, they did a great job, but we had people step up in that time on the defensive end as well as on the offensive end. We had people come in and make some really great plays, and they did a phenomenal job in holding it down. But I do think, like I mentioned, offensively, Sorrel was one of the people, Janea, another one that stepped up and hit some big shots for us when we had our 2 posts on the bench.
So, Coach, you're down 9 down the stretch of this game. It was, they kept building on the lead, and it looked like it was almost going to go out of reach. What was your message to the team during that timeout to get them to have this huge comeback?
Yeah, to keep fighting, and it didn't have to be. They wanted it. They were constantly talking in the huddle. They were constantly encouraging each other and telling each other to continue to fight, supporting each other through the good and the bad. And so a lot of it was them and wanting it badly enough. That's what we always say. We have to want it more than our opponents. There was a stretch in there where they wanted it more than us. But I think down that stretch, and as you mentioned, when the lead started to stretch, we wanted it. And they pulled together and they got after it, and I think our confidence rose in that time because of the fact that we stayed together and we were supporting each other. We were able to get out there and play with a lot more confidence, but we just said keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. That we knew this was a team that was not going to give in, that wasn't going to let up, and we had to continue to fight and continue to stay aggressive and offensively in what we wanted to do and quit fouling defensively.
Coach, 4-0 start at home, best home start for the program since 2016-17. How does it feel putting in the performances, getting the wins at home, and playing in front of the home crowd?
I'm happy for this team. We put in so much work, and they work every single day, and to be able to see that come to fruition, the work that they're putting in, to be able to reap some of that, I'm proud of them and what it's done, but mostly happy for this team and this program, and just a glimpse of where it's headed and what's to come as we continue to put in the work and continue to get better. But we've done a great job of really working every single day, and they've done a great job of coming out here and those home games and playing in front of these fans that have come to support us and really coming out stronger in the end.
You guys had Loyola and Maryland coming up. First time you guys have played them since Sorrel's shot last year. What's the mindset going into that game down in Baltimore?
Yeah, well, we got to get a road win, right? So first and foremost, that is our first message, right? We're going down there to take care of business and handle business. But again, this is, for us, this is not a single game, right? This is a journey, it's a process. And so every game we are looking to get better. So same message will be for that game as it's been for all of them. How can we continue to get better in the areas that we need to improve on? Because we've got bigger goals, and this is a step in that process, and we want to make a huge step, which would be getting a road victory.
No more questions. This concludes tonight's post-game press conference. Coach, Sorrel, Brandy, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.